Morning. Let's see. February. Mama's got to teach yoga. You can come hang out with me for a sec. You want to hang out with me for a minute? Yeah, we got about 2 minutes. That's a really good down dog. That's a really good down dog. Come say hi to me. Good morning. You stink. You stink. Yeah. Bring it down. Oh, thanks. Okay, good morning, everyone. Welcome from Baltimore, courtesy of YogaWorks. This is a Katonah-inspired practice. So if you've never done any Katonah work before, not to worry, it's many of the same Hatha yoga practices, poses that you might already be familiar with, but maybe with a slightly different spin, with an understanding of some of the geometry, of some of the angles of the poses. So to the best of your ability, just keep an open mind and we'll see where it goes. If you have props, this is a very proppy practice. The props are to give us an idea of contact and of a reference that's outside of ourselves. So if you don't have them, not a big deal. Again, just listen to the cues. So right off the bat, if you have a block, go ahead and sit on it. Also, if you have a blanket or a really thick towel, that'll be nice for one part of the practice that we're doing, actually a few parts of the practice. So let's take a formal seat. And by that I mean a seat that has really nice form. So sit up on your block, bring your feet right next to your block, bring your knees together. And then from here, stretch your arms to the sky. You can reach across and hold elbows. And really get the whole elbow in your hand. And then lift your elbows up into your hands. And the invitation is to close your eyes. And take a full breath in. And as you exhale, let it go. And do that again, a breath in. And exhale, let it go. And once more, breathe in. And breathe out. We start to get a sense of this central axis that runs inside of each of us along the length of the spine. And supporting that central axis is the stability of your feet and your legs and your hips up to your pelvis. The ability that you have, each of us, each of you, in the strength of your arms, in the work of your hands, in the fluency of your speech. And what that allows in the scope of your creativity and your vision. Can you see out? Take one more breath as though opening windows, the windows of your chest, the windows of your lungs. Reach your arms to the sky, take a breath in, and as you exhale, release your hands. Okay, so come to your hands and knees. And from your tabletop, turn your hands to face one another, so your middle fingers touch, like so, and then spin your hands forward. Set your knees right underneath of your hips, stretch your toes straight back in line with your knees. And then as you inhale, bring your heart forward, your lungs forward. As you exhale, round your back. As you inhale, bring your heart forward. As you exhale, round your back. And then start to move forward and back. Today is a day of a full moon. Right, which means that all creatures are feeling its pull. If you hear your dog go outside and howl at the moon, the waves responding to the pull of the moon. And so like a wave, just moving the breath up and down your spine. Up and down. Moves from the tail to the crown and the crown to the tail. And then the idea is to go a little bit faster. When we go faster, we can really proof our technique. We can see, where does the structure hold? Where does it fall down? And then keep going. Breath in, breath out. And then let it get a little bit more wild in its speed. Let your head get involved. I call this yoga head banging. And 3, and 2, and 1, and then take a super slow round. Maybe more slowly than you really want to go. Go the other way. Come on back to center. Interlace your fingers all the way to the webbing. Right, so you stay in your tabletop, interlace your fingers all the way up to the webbing, and then start to make some circles around your rib cage. Go clockwise. And again, you can get your head involved. So it's gonna feel like you're just now spinning and spiraling, really whipping it up around the axis. And keep going. And then switch the direction. And then come on back to center and tuck your toes for a moment. Sit back on your heels. Pick up your hands. So right now they're interlaced like so. Turn your thumbs to the sky. And then come forward a little bit. And the work is this, is to turn the palms up and then all the way around. The thumbs will come down and put your fingers down. So when you look down at your hand, it's gonna seem like you put your arms on backwards. We're just gonna breathe into this. See if you can stay with it for a moment. If you've lost the setup of your hands and knees being in a tabletop, see if you can walk your knees back so they're again underneath of your hips. Stay with it, take your time. And the whole time, can you keep your heart forward a bit? Keep the vision out. No rush. Unwind and release. Once again, measure your hands. Turn your fingertips to face one another. Spin your hands forward. Step to a plank pose and take it to a dog. Walk your hands now back, straight towards your toes. Make two fists. Put your fist between the arches of your feet, right in the middle, and bolt up by hugging your feet in towards your hands. Right? And then walk it back out. Right? So now you know where the hands go, where the feet go. Keeping your plank pose as a measure, meaning don't change your hands, don't change your feet. Come straight back to a dog. And bend your knees. And from the back of your knees, you're going to start to rise up through your seat. And from the back of your knees, start to reach down through your heels. Sense that you're pulling at the two ends of the legs, the hips in one direction, the rise, the heels in the other, the root. And as we mediate those two directions, the up and the down, it's as though you've just bisected the back of the knee. And in that moving in two separate directions, you now open the field of play at the back of the legs. And then put your attention in your feet and go down into the big toes as you go up and back through your outer heels. And then down into the baby toes as you go up and back through your inner heels. And that crisscross, that cross reference, think X marks the spot. And then bend your knees, look forward, lunge your right foot between your hands. Take your arms out nice and wide. You're going to change your frame of reference. So you're way up on the ball of your back foot. Take your arms out. Plug your knee into your armpits. Lower your left knee to the earth. Keep all the territory that you just made. Reach your back toes straight back behind you. And then from here, come forward, come up. Reach your arms to the sky. Find the rise. And then place your hands down on your knee, one hand on top of the other, and straighten your arms. So using the leverage of your hands to really find the lift through your chest, but still, all the while, pubis is coming forward, the navel is coming back, the heart is rising up. And stay with that. Imagine that the antenna of the head is still reaching straight up to the sky. And then lower your torso back down onto your right leg. Take your arms wide. Curl your back toes under without changing anything. Shift your weight back. If you have a block, place it right behind your right calf in such a way that it keeps the top of the right shin moving forward. It keeps you plugged in, your knee into your armpit. Can you pull your right toes up a little bit more? Find the frame of the right foot, big toe to outer heel, baby toe to inner heel. And then as you keep the frame of the foot, find the same sense of Anjaneyasana, the back bend. The pubis comes forward, the navel comes back, the heart comes forward. Breathe. And then to let it go, shift your weight into your right foot and leg, fire the back leg. And then step it back, downward facing. Lunge your left foot forward. As you lunge your left foot forward, take your arms out nice and wide, 10 and 2, right? Like there's a steering wheel out in front of you, and you're just traversing that with your hands. Lower your right knee to the earth, lower your right toenails to the earth. Inhale, come forward up. So the wave begins at the back toes, and it comes straight up through the arms, and then place your hands down on your knee. Straighten your arms. And as your hands push into your knee pushes into your hand, so that becomes the contact, that becomes the dialogue. The information that you're getting from your hands is informing what's happening in your legs. And then start to rearrange the frame of your seat a little bit better so that your right hip comes around to 3 and your left hip comes back to 9. Your coccyx is straight back behind you at 6, and your head, your crown, is up at 12. And then to let that go, put your torso back on your left leg. Curl your back toes under for support. Shift your weight back. Notice my knee is still plugged into my armpit. My torso, like a canvas across frame, is still stretched across the left leg. And you can place a block behind your calf. Keep coming forward. Keep rising up and out. And then crisscross reference your left foot. Go from baby toe to inner heel. Big toe to outer heel. Do that same thing with your right leg. Draw your right hip to its corner as you go back through your right inner heel rather. And then right inner groin to right outer heel. Let it go. Place your hands down, step it back. Downward facing. Let's add to that. Bend your knees. Lunge your right foot forward. I'm going to grab my second block. Lunge your right foot forward. Same setup. Nice long stance. So you way up on the ball of the back foot. Notice the difference. Even play with it for a moment. When you rock your heel back, the seat comes back. You get a little stuck in the back. Right? So lift up through the heel and sense where that translates. Right? That translates everywhere. And then set blocks underneath of your back thigh if you have them in such a way that you're creating not so much a support system, but a bit of a boundary system. So this left leg, the back leg, doesn't fall down. It stays nice and high, nice and buoyant. Bring your right hand to the inside of your right foot. Now you choose. You can have your hand facing forward, or you can flip it around, but it's going to be joint to joint. So my right shoulder is touching my right knee. The heel of my right hand is touching the heel of my right foot. Maintain that contact. Look forward. Put your left hand on your back. And then keep looking forward. Even lift your tail a little bit into your hand until you feel more of that forward. And let your right knee press your right shoulder, start to turn. Keep looking forward. As you find your twist, open to the left. If and when you're ready, take your left hand high. So you're spinning your palm towards the front. Again, the right knee is pressing the right shoulder. And then to let it go, release your hands down to the earth. Take your arms out wide again. Keep your back leg exactly as is. But turn your right toes out to a ballet first, right? 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. Take your right hand over to meet your left hand. Maybe take the fingers a little bit wider so there's more space and come out through the crown of the head. Put your right hand on your right leg, lean back. Your right foot is going to stay rooted to the earth. Your right knee is going to stay right over top of your heel. Sweep your right arm over your ear. Right, so you're reaching. Pretend there's not a wall here. And then to let go, release your hands. Move your blocks out of the way. And you're going to stay on the ball of the back foot as you straighten or straighten-ish your front leg, right? So much like we did in our Ardha Hanuman, you're still way up on the ball of the back foot. Press down into the right big toe like you're pressing a gas pedal, pressing not to go forward, and then look forward. Let's take it around. Turn towards your right. So as you turn towards the right, slide the back foot in and walk your feet so they're hips width distance. Bend your knees. Right, so you're crisscross now. If you can see, I'm crisscross at the knee. And then you're going to walk the back foot forward just a little bit more so you've got a really good cross. Keep bending your knees. And then lift your right heel up. That's the front heel. Keep it lifted. Put your left hand on your back. Look forward. Come out through your chest. Bring your right hand across to your heel. And find your turn. And as you turn, you're twisting along the length of your leg. Same thing, if and when you're ready, reach your left hand high. And then lower your hand down to the ground. Come up onto the balls of both feet. Bend your knees. And then set your left fingertips down directly underneath of your face. Not back, because you'll lose some of the length of your spine, but out here. Come forward through the crown. And now put your right hand on your back. So we just twist the other way. Twisting, twisting, twisting. Keep coming forward through the crown. And as you twist along the axis of the spine, take your right arm up. Spin the palm open. And then exhale, let it go. We're going to lower the knees down to the earth. Right knee down in front of the left. If you need a blanket, if you need to sit up on something, please do so. And so you're here and you go Mukasana legs. Might feel a little bit early for it, but we're going to go for it anyway. Have your blocks close by. And then see if you can find this stack, right? Notice the difference. If the knees are coming away from one another, we actually skip the hip joint, right? So we work here so that we're right in the knees. And then if you have blocks, please place them like so, one on top of the other. Notice they're a little bit high and long. Take your arms out. If your right knee is on top, wrap your right arm underneath of your left, eagling up your arms. If you can wrap your right hand around your wrist, do so. And make a fist with your left hand. And then come forward onto the blocks. So I'm resting my upper arm on the blocks. And look over your left shoulder. So right now you're working in the crease, in the fold. There's contact, your own contact everywhere. Particular moment in time, this moment in history, not all of us are getting as much contact as feels nourishing, as much contact as we'd like, as much contact as we really need. And so starting just here, just this can be incredibly soothing for your nervous system. And then rather than waiting for me to tell you when to breathe, keep letting the structure settle. Really commit to it and see if that doesn't in fact change the breath. Okay. We're going to maintain contact, right? So my chin is going to stay on top of my shoulder. And I'm going to lead as though being led from the elbows. You're going to scoop your elbows to the sky. And when you rise up, keep your contact. Elbow to the sky. Like there's an invisible mitt just above the elbows when you're throwing the balls of the elbows up into the mitt. And then to come back, just come back to center, unwind your arms. Okay. with your right leg on top. Set your left hand down to the side. Reach your right arm up to the sky. And first look underneath of your armpit. And now take your gaze and take your vision all the way up to your right hand. Come more towards the front of your seat than the back of your seat. Towards the perineum rather than the tail. As you bring your heart up, reach your chin up. And then come on up. Okay, so to unwind it, we're going to take a little travel around to the left. Because if we go to the right, we'll get more crisscrossed. But then once I get around there, I'm going to just flip so that I can see you and you're not looking at my seat. So come forward to your knees. Curl your toes under and just come up. So you're up on the balls of your feet. You're nice and buoyant. Again, you're going to your left. And if you're not quite sure where that is right now, if you get more crisscrossed, you've gone the wrong way. And now that you're here, your feet, about 2 feet apart. Doesn't really matter. Crisscross your arms. Hold your opposite ankles. Get a really good firm hold, so you're not going to let go. You're going to walk your feet away from one another. And you're going to stop when 2 things are happening. 1, you've crossed your arms way up under your chin, all the way up here. And 2, you're holding onto your ankles, but you haven't lost your handle. Bend your knees, take more of a squat, come forward through the crown, and then take one arm up to the sky. So this is not so much about the hamstrings as it is about the twist and about the breath and about the spine. So bend the knees and then really come out through the top of the head. Can you look up with your left eye, with the bottom eye? Now travel around, follow your hand with your eyes, with your vision. Come all the way across, pass the baton fully, right? So notice I'm now holding both ankles. And then take the other arm up. So we can start slowly, really building the technique of it, making sure, have we set this up well? Have we given ourselves a recipe for success? And then once you've done that, then you can start to make it more of a full swim, right? Applying the technique, giving it speed so that we figure out where it holds up and where it doesn't. And when we lose sight of where we're going, right, when the vision glitches out, that just becomes information. It becomes information about where our blind spots are. One more. And then simply take your left arm on top of your right. Peek underneath of your left arm. Turn, turn, turn. Now you're going to keep contact. Keep your chin. Turn your right foot, turn your left foot, turn your right foot, turn your left foot. And now I'm in more of a modified Trikonasana. You're turning towards your right toes. Bend your right knee. Straighten your back leg. I'll say that again. Bend your right knee. Straighten your back leg and use your right knee to turn your right shoulder. To let it go, step it back, down dog. Bend your knees, lunge your left foot forward, grab your blocks. So now you're placing your blocks underneath of your right leg. You're setting them in such a way that they're telling your hips to stay level, to stay stable. That's it. You're way up on the ball of the back foot. There's a vertical from heel to ball. There's a vertical left knee to left heel. And then bring your left hand to the inside. Feel free to flip it around, but you're aligning joint to joint. Right knee, right shoulder. Heel of the hand, heel of the foot. Look forward, right? So from here on out, we come forward. Bring your right hand to your back. Keep pressing your knee into your shoulder as you start to find your turn. As you find your turn, keep looking out. So there's that little bit of a back bend. Maybe, just maybe, take your right arm high. Spin the palm. Turn the chest. And then to let go, release your hands. Take your arms nice and wide, back to your 10 and 2. Turn your left toes out, ballet first. Take your left hand over to meet your right hand. Maybe open that a little bit more, but from the torso, from the hands coming out, the left knee stays where it is, the left foot stays rooted. Put your hand on your knee, lean back. Maybe, just maybe, now take your left arm over and around. I have my hand on the wall just because this is the space that I have, right? But for you, can you reach out through your fingertips? Look around at your hands. And then to let go, come on back. Move your blocks out of the way. Slide your right foot in. And now we go for the turn. So your left leg is in front. You're going to bend your knees. And then plant your back heel. Right? So that's your right leg. Lift your left heel up. Look forward. Put your left hand right inside of the ball of your left heel. Right? Really get a nice firm hold. Put your right hand on your back. Come forward with your twist. Trust your legs. Now find your turn. If and when you're ready, take your right hand high. And then to release, set your hands down. Set your right fingertips now in front of you, right underneath of your chin. Come up onto the balls of both feet. Put your left hand on your back. Come out through the crown. As the left hip comes back to its own corner, the right shoulder comes forward and around. The right lung comes forward and around. And you turn. And you turn. And maybe, just maybe, your left arm goes high. And then to let go, set your hands down. Lower both knees down to the earth. And sit down in your Gomukhasana. So set your blocks in front of you again, right? The idea for this is not to fold and really round in the upper back, but rather to create more space in the spine. Take your arms out. If my left knee is on top, my left arm goes underneath. I get as much wrap as I can. If you can, hold the wrist, make a fist. Come onto the blocks with your upper arm, and then look over your right shoulder. So come out. You're going to keep your contact, keeping your throat on your shoulder. Lead with your elbows. Throw the elbows up to the sky. And then come back around and take your arms out. So now if my left knee is on top, I'm going to take my right arm out to the side. Maintain your stability. Root the left hip down. And then reach up through your left fingers. You're reaching over to the side. Look up underneath of your armpit. And then take that a little bit further. Reach up with your chin towards your palm. Find more of the front of the seat than the back of the seat. And then to come on up, come on up. Okay, so same dismount strategy. This time we're coming forward, we're going around to the right so that we can uncrisscross. Curl your toes, hips up. Walk it around, walk it around, walk it around. Crisscross your hands, hold your legs. Walk your feet away, bend your knees. Inhale, one arm up to the sky, take a breath. Now make it more of a full swim around. Start to make the stroke more spherical, coming around and around yourself. Keep going and keep going. And notice where you lose your vision. What pace you're going right now is up to you. And then finally, when your right arm is on top, we're going to find our funky triangle pose. So you turn your left toes out to the left, and then you turn your right toes in. And then your left toes turn. And then your right toes in. And then we keep coming around, and you bend the front knee a bit so you can stay fully in the foot, but you power back. You press into your right heel. Turn, 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 using your knee to turn your shoulder. Peek underneath of your right armpit. Keep rocking the left hip back. As you press down into the big toe of the left foot, maybe that'll give you that last little turn. And then to let it go, release, step back, downward facing. Lower your knees down to the earth. Sit up on a block. And again, I'm going to turn myself around so that you can see what's happening. You're going to do a bit of a vinyasa for your shoulders. So just trust yourself. Take your left hand, bring it across to your right knee. Bring your right hand across to your left knee. So my arms are like so, yeah? And then you're going to take the bottom arm, the left arm, out to the side. Turn your thumb down. Keep looking over your left shoulder. Bring your arm behind your back and up towards your shoulders, towards the sky. Keep that. Now look to the right as you bring your right arm around. You reach back and you make contact. There's dialogue. Get the elbow into the palm. Keep looking to the right as you reach your right arm up. And now we're traveling as though across time, all the way across. Finally, you end up again looking left. Meet your hands, right? Your Gomukhasana hands. And then turn center. Can you spin your bottom thumb onto the back a little bit more? And as you spin the thumb onto the back, go out through the left collarbone. And then spin your right armpit in towards the heart to go up through the right elbow. Okay, to release, just listen. Bring your right hand across to your left knee. Slow and easy. Bring your left hand across to your right knee. Now I'm crisscross. We're going to go the other way. Take your right arm out to the side. Turn your thumb down. Bring it behind your back. And you continue to look to your right. If nothing else, this is a really sweet mechanical advantage. Turning, turning, turning so that you get the hand back there a little bit more. And then look to the left as you bring your left arm around. Around, 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 around. Make contact. There's the dialogue. Elbow and palm, palm and elbow. Keep looking to the left as you take your left hand out. And then you follow it. You follow with your eyes across, across, across. Finally, you end up looking right as you try to make contact, hand to hand. Make the best contact you can. Thumb, right thumb onto the back. And then look forward. Find the perineum rather than the tail tucked under. We call this happy puppy versus sad puppy. Rise up, up, up. The fire of your effort give you rise through the top. And then release. Okay, one more with my back turned to you. So reach both arms out, thumbs down. Interlace your hands behind your back so your palms are open. This is a precursor to reverse namaste. Walk your hands up. Right? So we call this coat hanger. Imagine a silky little dress, right? Or your nicest shirt. You want to hang it up really well. So you don't want the coat hanger to fall apart. Go out through one collarbone, go out through the other. And then we're going to do a little X marks the spot. So go wide through your right collarbone as you go wide through your left shoulder. And then wide through your left collarbone as you come wide through your left shoulder. Thumbs up, 7 up. And then release. So nice. Come to your hands and knees. Sweep your right arm forward, back, around. When it lands, your fingertips will face backwards. Left arm. And then left arm forward. And right arm forward. And take it on a swim. So I'll show you what it looks like from the front. I'm trying to maintain my frame so that when I put the hand down, I'm still working with the frame of the arms. Collarbone, hands. Collarbone, hands. And then you come back around. Take your time. Keep looking forward. Next time your hands are forward, switch the lead hand. So if the right hand was starting, now you start with the left, or of course, vice versa. And the next time, both hands are facing backwards. Stay. Widen, left collarbone. Right outer wrist to the thumb. Right collarbone, left outer wrist to the thumb. Reverse your cat and cow. Inhale, breathing into the fullness of the back, like the full moon. And then exhale, heart forward. Inhale, round. Exhale, heart forward. And keep going. Breath in, breath out. Pick up the pace if you can. Breath in, breath out. Breath in, breath out. In and out. In and out. Just like the waves and the tides are always moving. Like the consistency and the constancy of the breath. Like the flow and the movement of time. The spin of the earth. The travel of the planets around the sun. Keep going. In, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. If you're anything like me, there's definitely a time in this when you want to stop. When everything says, no, I'm done. And that's the time to really kick your own butt. Keep going. Breath in, breath out, breath in, breath out, breath in, breath out. Trust yourself that you can handle it. Trust yourself that you can go forward. Trust yourself that you can keep moving. In and out, and in and out, and in and out. Right? That trust, that is something that right now, a lot of us are finding we can't trust the world. We can't trust what's going on outside, but we can trust our ability to handle it. Last 3, last 2, last 1. Take a really slow round. Turn your hands back to center. Come up to your fingertips. Okay. So if you have a wall space, this is where a wall will be handy. It's not essential, but it's really nice. So grab your blocks and your blanket. Take your blanket, bring it up against the wall. This is one of those poses where the knee is down, so this is why it can be nice. But if you don't have a blanket, no big deal. Just roll the part of your mat closest to the wall. Roll it up a little bit so it gives you some cushion. Miss Bernadine. She's very mouthy. Slide your left knee to the wall. Toes straight up to the wall. Shin to the wall. Step your right foot forward. Okay. So in some practices, we work the hips back towards the wall. For this one, it's going to be a little bit different. Think more of an Anjaneyasana leg, right? So to give you an idea of what that looks like, if I was to put my block here, wedge it in front of my left thigh, I'm at a diagonal, right? I'm at a kind of crescent from the knee to the hip. The pubis is coming forward, but then the navel is coming back. And this should feel familiar. This is much like what we did earlier. Put your hands on your right knee and straighten your arms, right? So now I've got a whole lot of information. The wall is keeping my left leg in place. The block is bringing me forward in the hips, and my hands are bringing me back through the navel and up. And this is where I really find out that I actually have a long way to go. So just keep working it. And then let's add a twist. So if my right knee is here, I'm going to take my left arm up, come across to the armpit, come all the way across. You make a fist with the bottom hands. You put your right hand right on top. And I love this twist because you have so much supporting you, right? You've got a wall, you've got that back knee, you've got this front foot, that now you can really get into the turn. And you might find that you get a little bit more in your twist. So use what you have to take your vision around. And then as you exhale, let it go. Okay, so you have options. We're moving into pigeon, and we're going to see if we can keep the back leg on the wall. If the answer is absolutely not, no way, lady, then not a big deal. You're going to come to pigeon with your left leg straight back behind you. So I'm going to just slide this over. Now, this is also where the practice might be a little bit different. Rather than thinking shin parallel to the top of the mat, instead, I'm going to orient from where my hips are. So I want my right hip to be at 3 o'clock. I'm going to orient around a clock face. And I want my left hip to be at 9 o'clock. So everything gets oriented from there. My back leg is still straight back behind me, right? Because that's my rudder. That's telling my ship where to go. You may need, I always love, to slide your support system, your blanket, underneath of the perineum, right? Give yourself a little rise. And then take your arms out. Keep orienting. And then if and when you're ready, you can fold forward. Those of you who practice this practice more and you have lots of blocks and you want to set them underneath your armpits, your chest, your forehead, like your restorative setup, that's great. If you have two and you want to work a block under your chest and a block under your forehead, so nice. And then keep thinking that you're coming out, like your Anjaneyasana, like your crescent, right? The crescent of the moon, the crescent of the wave. You're coming from the pubis to the navel, from the navel to the heart, from the heart to the eyes, from the eyes to the crown, all the way out. Okay, stay here. If you're having a real good time, stay. Or add a piece to your twist. So come on up. You can just move the block that's under your chest, but the block that's what's supporting your head can be nice. So put your left ear on. So as we twist, we're twisting towards the front leg. You bring the elbow across, right? Looks really familiar, yeah? Bring the left ear down. Keep a little rise. Put your right hand on your fist and turn. Right? If the right hip wants to come up and your left, everything falls over to the left side, let it feel weighted, right? Like you have a sandbag on the right hip, grounding you, rooting you. In your imagination, grow the pose out through the crown. And then to let go, come on around. Sit gently to your right hip, let the left foot fall, And then come around, and if you have a blanket, you can keep it as we work the left shin in front of the right shin. Find the framework of it. This foot flush to this thigh knee, this foot flush to this foot thigh knee. And if you can keep that and then stack it, great. But if once you stack it, you're here. Right? You've actually bypassed the hips, you've skipped the hips. So work it here instead. And then use gravity to your advantage. Put your hands down in front of you. Come forward through the chest, a little bit of a back bend. So now I'm really in my hips. Feel free to lower down to your elbows if you'd like, or just stay here. Okay, come on up and out. Left knee is going to go all the way in front of the right knee. So I'm going to crisscross once again into my Gomukhasana legs. But then I'm going to work my feet further up so my shins are now more parallel. Think of this like a long-horned steer. Do your best for this next part. I'm going to put all these pieces together. If your left leg is on top, start with the left arm up. We're going to cross. Hook the armpit. Get the foot. Work it up. Put your right hand on your back, right? So we get ready for our swim. Come forward, come forward, come forward, turn. Right arm goes up. Follow it around, follow it around. Now this is where it gets interesting. Oh, where's that foot? Where's that foot? Work it around, work it around. There it is. Okay, so now we've got both. And now other arm up and around. Do your best. I swear this gets easier with time. How much time? Well, that's a different story. Maybe a few lifetimes from now. Keep going. Next time the left arm is underneath. One more time. You're going to eagle your arms. Lift your elbows, make contact, look over your right shoulder. Rise up, rise up, rise up, rise up. And then release. Okay. If you want a little down dog between, go for it. We're going to set up for our second side of pigeon. So first, if you're using your blanket underneath of your back knee, go for it. You bring your right shin to the wall, right toenails to the wall, left foot forward. Imagine, even if you don't have a block, imagine a block wedged in front of the right thigh, right? So that you're coming forward with the hips, with the pelvis, with the pubis, but you're coming back through the navel, and then let's check it out. Put your hands on your left knee. Oh yeah. Straighten your arms to the best of your ability. And then even add some of the work, some of the referencing work in your left foot. Press down into the big toe as you pull and root through the outer left heel. And then down and forward into the baby toe as you plug into the inner heel. Let's add our twist. Take your right arm high. Bring it across. Bring the armpit across. Make a fist. Right? Stay plugged into your feet. It's the stability that's really going to give you the ability to turn. Put your left hand on your right fist and then turn it around. Use all the contact you have to really make you feel safe. Safe to find your turn. Safe to find your twist. Safe to take a risk and go out. And then to let go, unwind it. Bring your left shin into pigeon. Not necessarily to parallel, but rather orient your hips, right? It's like you're navigating through the wilderness. You ever done that? Going out into the woods and try to figure out where you are, maybe just using a compass? I have not, because it's terrifying. and I have an intense fear of getting lost, right? But the more tools you have, the less chance of getting lost. The more you travel that same terrain over and over again, the more familiar it becomes. And then you come down and forward if you'd like. All right, my friends, if you're adding your twist, you're going to twist towards your left leg. So your right elbow is going to come across, but you're still going to find the length, the axis of the spine. Right hand makes a fist, left hand goes on top. Turn it, turn it, turn it, turn it. Keep doing this in the imagination. And what I mean by that is as you grow through the crown of your head, do that in your mind, do that in your breath, and then find your turn. And then to come out, come on out, sit to your left hip gently, bring your right foot down, and then bring your your right leg around for your double pigeon. Maybe you sit up on your blanket. Right shin in front of left shin. Sole of the foot flush to the outside of the thigh to the knee. And I mean not even here, right? That's not quite there, but here. Toes on, press to the big toe, press to the big toe. Use your gas pedals. Take your hands out. Find the hip crease, make it creasy. Creasy and then creasier, and then fold into it. Can you breathe into the fullness of the front? The fullness of potential, right? We're moving into the season of summer. That is a full season. Everything comes to fruition. We get these really lush, juicy landscapes, lush, juicy foods to eat. You got all the ripe tomatoes and strawberries. Everything was just drippy. Right? It's that fullness that we're breathing into, that we're leaning into. And then come on up. All right, my friends. Shin in front and then knee on top. Or gomukhasana legs to the best of your ability. Walk the feet up so they're more like this becomes a bolt. Right? This works best when that bolt is tight. When it's out here, the threads aren't making contact. It's a little loose. It's not going to hold. And then I take the right arm up. Bring it across. Left hand comes to your back. Why am I doing that? So that I can lift my tail into my hand a little bit. And I'm going to find more space in the spine. And then find your twist. For me, this side is very, very different. Right? So I'm going to take my time. You take your time. Some days it is about the speed. Some days it's really about figuring out, where does this measure up? Where does it not measure up? How do I refine the technique? So the next time I come in at it, I know more. I've got more at my disposal. More information makes us more powerful. Last little bit. Next time, your right arm is underneath. Stay there. Eagle your arms. Chin onto your arms. Rise up. Leading with the elbows. Look over the left shoulder. And then unwind. Bring yourself to a right angle. Extend your legs out in front of you. Okay, you can stay up on your blanket. I'm going to turn so you can see. So I'm at a right angle. My legs are straight out. If you have a block, put it between your knees. Just hit your knees. It's not so much about squeezing with the adductors. It's about keeping your knees and legs here. Toes straight up to the sky. Place your hands on your knees. And then simply lift your knees up. Right, so there it is, the shin skin to the perineum. Bring your left hand across, bring your right hand behind you and turn. Can you keep your feet where they started? Reach your right arm behind you, flip your palm up, thumb back. Follow it with your eyes as you come all the way up around for this last swim, at least on that side. You've got your eyes, check out what your feet are doing, and then bring your left hand behind you and twist. And then reach your left arm back, flip your palm up, thumb back. Come around, come around, come around. And then release. And then finally, so in the Katonah practice, we don't really do so much of a shavasana as perhaps a shavasana type pose, meaning a pose that elicits a sense of rest, that really brings the body into a sense of rest. So we're going to start perhaps with a bridge pose with blocks underneath of the hips and embody that form of a bridge. Think of this as you're not a pothole, but you're a bridge, right? So the hips come nice and high, and then we'll have some time for a little plow work at the end. So come on down to your back. Start with one block, get acclimated, slide it underneath of your sacrum. Take a breath into the widening. And then slide your second block right on top of your first. You gotta really trust yourself that this is possible. It is. It just might take a moment to adjust, to adapt. What I think all of us have found recently is that the human capacity for adaptability and resiliency is incredible. I know just with so many teachers that said, yoga teachers said they never really wanted to do this work online. So many of us weren't all that familiar with the technology. And here we are. This is happening across spectrums, populations all over the world. We are learning just how capable we are. Now this pose, honestly, you could stay here for a really long time because we only have an hour for our practice. I'm going to move on and show you the very last pose. But if you want to play this later, right, and do the last pose at your own time in your own space, please do so. Maybe stay here a little bit longer. Right? If you're coming with me, we're moving into, think of this like a kidney plow, like a kidney bean. Reach your arms back behind you, palms up, and you're going to rock your feet to the sky. See how that feels. And nice and slow, rock back so that your knees will go to your armpits, your feet will go to your hands. And if you have a sandbag, at your disposal, that'll go on the back of your legs. So you rock back. And you get really close to yourself. Your knees come close to your ears. Your knees are in your arms. Keep reaching the seat very gently up and back as you reach your feet back. And then slowly come down again. That one you could do for a good long while. Place your feet down on the earth. Make your way to a seat. Once again, come back to your formal seat that you started with. We'll finish with the last bit of breath work. From your seat, bring your fingertips up to your chest, your elbows out to the sides. And each time you take a hand out, you exhale the breath out and out and out and out. Maybe just close your eyes and really start to let the breath go out. And then let it get a little bit more wild, a little bit more free. Like you let the horse out of the stable and you just let her run around the field. Exhale, 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 exhale. Let your head get involved, let your breath get involved, lift your heart to the sky, lift your lungs to the sky. Let the breath out, let the heat out, let it move up and out through the crown. Exhale, 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 exhale. Inhale, reach up. Hold your breath just for a moment, a little sniff through the nose, sip through the mouth. Pop your cork, let it go. Fellow yogis, the light in me honors the light in each one of you. Namaste. Thank you, my friends. Happy rest of your day.